The cemetery, behind its discreet neighbourhood walls, appears as one of the strange and last shelters of dreams and illusions, of that which is different and unknown, of that which is extraordinary and magic. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. GV here. So today I'm in Edermine, old graveyard in County Wexford. There's some lovely old headstones here, maybe going back as far as the 1700s. So we'll take a walk around and we'll read some of the headstones. Not only that, there's a very interesting mausoleum here and a bit of a story behind it. So we'll get to that as we go around this old beautiful graveyard. So this is Edermine, the old graveyard here in Wexford, and you can just see a couple of the old headstones there, and it is kind of, overgrown in parts. This part here in front of me going around isn't too bad, so we'll get around, and I have my flashlight, as some people call it, torch, with me, so we'll have a look around. And I just see one down the end here, so we'll go to this one down here first and read it. Now, the story about the mausoleum here, I was speaking to a local man earlier on, and he was telling me the story about the mausoleum. So the story goes about the mausoleum is that there's a family was buried in there, but he was telling me that they were moved out of the mausoleum in the early 1980s. So I found that interesting, so we will go over and have a look at that mausoleum. So right back at the old graveyard, we have this one on its own. And you can see Jesus on it there, and a beautiful statue, stone, little statue inside, a miniature one in the middle of it there, in loving memory of Miles Hughes, who died November the 21st, 1902, aged 66 years old. Isn't that lovely? With that little miniature stone statue and the crucifix at the top of it. And as I was saying, it's just on its own there in the graveyard. So there is a lot of old stones here. Now just over there is that mausoleum I was talking about, so we will get around and have a look at that mausoleum. So it's kind of cold today, not too bad, the sun is shining. We're lucky for the month of November that we have the sun shining really, and it's not that cold. The grass is long here, as we've seen before in the graveyards. Needs a bit of work and a bit of TLC. A lovely one here of the crucifix, look at that. Could be Mary Magdalene there on the left. And it says, here lies the body of James Sinnott, who departed this life on the 20th of July 1765, age 34. So there we have 1765, and that beautiful old grave, look at that. And it's nice to see, the inscriptions can still be read on a few of these. I just have to get in underneath to read this one. There we have that beautiful stone and stonework again on that, the crucifixion scene. And here lies the body of Thomas Sinnott, who departed this life on the 23rd of March 1785, aged 64. Also Mogue, that looks like M-O-G-U-E. I've never heard of that name. Sinnott, 1793, aged 35 years old. So the old graveyard here, as you can see, look at all those leaves falling off the trees. Some lovely scenery around the old graveyard. And this one here is kind of just a little bit different. The women on this one look different on it. You can see her dress. And Jesus on the cross. So this stone was erected by John Roach in memory of his brother, it looks like, or sorry, father, Alec, A-L-L-I-C-K, Alec Roach, and March the 27th, 1801, age 70. So we're just taking you around a couple here in the old graveyard before we go up to see that amazing mausoleum. This one has the Lamb of God on the top, and look at the inscription on this one here is just perfect, isn't it, for its age. Erected by Thomas Fane of Ballymurn in memory of his brother James, who died November the 10th, 1872, aged only 18 years old. Also his father Thomas, who died in 1879, aged 62. His sister Teresa, who died in 1883, aged 20. Another sister Charlotte, who died in September 1903, aged 48. And so on. There's Mary Fane is there, and a couple of other names. But look at the inscription on that. Isn't that beautiful, that writing on it? Just perfect to read. We have an old Celtic cross here. And some ivy has covered that, but it looks like the name on that is William. And William died aged 44 in January, and I can't see the date on that with the ivy, and I don't really want to take the ivy off it, because they do say the ivy actually protects the stone, you know. Another old one here, the body of Michael Gaffney, who departed this life in March 1780, aged 78. There's that beautiful stonework again. The body here lies the body of Peter Murphy, who died May the 7th, 1770, aged 29 years old. Look at that, guys. 1770, aged 29 years old. And the headstone looks like it was only made yesterday. It's amazing. Here lies the body of Catherine Murphy, who died in 1771, aged 62 years old. Now there is a headstone just here, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I hope you can see that. And look at the stonework on that. You can see like Mary Magdalene there, Jesus on the cross. Then you have an angel just there either side with those beautiful wings. Look at that. And it's erected by Martin Doyle in memory of his sister Mary Connolly, who departed this life in 1837, aged 37 years old. So there we have a headstone from 1837, and just look at that stonework on it, the crucifixion scene. And I've never seen a crucifixion scene on a headstone with an angel either side. And this is an old one here. Here, like the body of O'Connor is the name, who departed this life in 1778, aged, it looks like 33 years old on that. So guys, I'll take you back up. They're just a couple of old 1700s ones I wanted to show you on my trip along the way there. Beautiful old headstones, 1800s, 1700s. Some lovely stonework on them. And you can just about see on that one there is a face inside of that. And it's kind of covered over a bit, but you can see a face and the stonework of it. Now, there is newer graves in here, but not many, as you can just see there. There is a couple, there's a bench there. So there is people still being buried here. And we have a lovely grave here with the Irish flag on it. And while I'm here, I'll read what it says. In loving memory of Brenda Myton, who died the 11th of July 2015, aged only 58 years old. And a beautiful headstone Brenda has. And a beautiful photograph of Brenda also. So rest in peace, Brenda. Look at this old wrought iron here. Around this, oh, this is completely overgrown, this one. Look at all that growth inside. And the name is Farrell on this one. And unfortunately I can't see anything else written on that, just the surname W. Farrell. Could be William maybe, who knows. So this is the old graveyard here, it's called Edermine. And those graves go back to the early 1700s, like even before the rebellion was in 1798. So some of these graves here are even before that. So that's how old they're. You can see some on the ground there, stone slab ones. Another one just here. Dennis Myrna, who departed this life on the 6th of May 1800, age 87 years old. Also his wife Joanna, and she died on the 25th of March 1784, age 48 years old. And there we have that beautiful angel again at the top of it. So I'm going to try and make my way over, because you can just see where I'm walking and the length of the grass that I'm going through here, and it is very, very wet, the grass, but that's what you have to go through, and the effort you have to make to find these beautiful places and bring them back to light, so people can hear these people's names read out aloud once more. Now I don't know whether it's going to be hard to get in here, because there is headstones I've seen in here, and I like these ones that's kind of hidden under trees and stuff. And there is one just hidden in here, guys. Catherine, or Callahan is the name, Richard I think. Callahan, 1828, aged 3 years old. And you can just see there how it's covered. Completely covered just in there. Sorry if you can see my shadow on that. There's a tabletop one there, and that actually looks like it's crumbling away, and it could, in time, I think, eventually just break in two, because you can see where the cracks are starting to come on it there. So eventually, you know, in time it will break, and I see a lot of the tabletop ones do break away, unfortunately. So we'll go back up this way, guys, the way we came, and I'll bring you over and show you this wonderful mausoleum over here. And it's a mausoleum of the McMahon family. And I believe the story goes that allegedly it houses the remains of Ross McMahon, who was a civil engineer. And the mausoleum dates back as far as 1853. But speaking to a local here, the local tells me that the bodies were moved in the early 1980s from this mausoleum. And you'd be wondering why they were moved, or where they were moved to. So this is the mausoleum here of the McMahon family, and you can just see look at all the overgrowth, all those thorns, ivy flowing down over it from the top. So we'll go and have a closer look. So we can see you have a cast iron door. Now it's a Georgian Gothic style mausoleum with a granite slab roof on it and a cast iron door. And if you just look at the name on it there, it says Pounden 1853. And just look at the size of the padlock on that and the bar that goes across. But the strange thing about it is we have the name on the top there, J. Donnelly Wexford. So that would have been the company that made these cast iron doors for the mausoleums. Now the strange thing is, and I'll try and show you here with the lamp, is the door is kind of ajar on this. So just in behind, if you can see in there, is actually a concrete wall. So at one time or another, this door was opened. You can just see there how far it is actually opened and how much of a gap there is in it there. So there is a concrete wall behind it, so the door was opened and they blocked it up then afterwards. You know, so I'm just wondering if the door was blocked up afterwards and bodies were moved from here in the early 1980s, would they have blocked up this door? Now, I'm just going by what that man told me. That man lives around here in the area all his life, and he remembers, he said in the 1980s, that the coffins and the bodies, he said, were moved from here. Now, the other thing about this mausoleum is there's a door that we were just looking at, but there's also another door just at the very back of it. And the sun is kind of shining there, so I'm going to try and give you the best view I can. Now, the door is not ajar on this side, because we can see the gap is not as much, but it's also blocked. You can barely see just behind in there. That looks like to me, there could be another wall behind that was also blocked up. And there we have the family name, as I was just talking about, Ross McMahon. 1853, the McMahon name is on it. He was a civil engineer. And he was also part, I think, of politics and stuff like that. So that's the cast iron door on it there. The McMahon Mausoleum. And I'll try and get out of the sun so you can have a better look. But that just looks amazing, doesn't it? Look at that cast iron door. The old ivy over it. And who knows, guys? The story goes that they were moved from there in the early 1980s. And you know, maybe when they were taken out of there, it's no longer in use. So they blocked it up. But it's interesting. Very old. 1853. And look at it's all overgrown now and everything. You know, like that big padlock on the door and that big bar that goes across didn't need to be used because the door was already opened. So the only people, and it doesn't look like to me that the door was actually, you know, forced open. So unless somebody, like a family member or somebody local in the area had the key to open that, you know, was it desecrated inside or the bodies moved because of that and then it was blocked up? Let me know in the comments section. So that's the Edermine old graveyard here. We have a stone slab here to the memory of Eliza, the beloved wife of or Lonsdale, Pounden of Dublin, who departed this life 1836. So the name on that is Pounden. So there we have that name, Pounden, on that stone slab. And we have Pounden there. So there's two family members in that, on that name on the doors. You have Pounden on that side, and the other side of the mausoleum we have McMahon. So there's the connection. There's the connection just there. The name Pounden, Eliza Pounden. is laid to rest there. So she's part of the family name. And we have another one here, erected by Anne Martin of Enniscorthy, in memory of her beloved husband Thomas Martin, departed this life in 1848. So I wouldn't think that these are anything got to do with the people in the, you know, or that mausoleum there. So guys, on that note, I'll wrap the video up there, and thanks for coming along on this walk in this beautiful old graveyard here in Edermine, County Wexford. And that mausoleum, interesting story there as well. So if you liked the video guys, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. It's free to subscribe. If you're new to the channel, please comment underneath the video. Let me know where you're from, what you thought of the video, you know, whatever you think yourself. So I leave the video there guys, and thanks for coming along, and I'll see you all on my next adventure.